Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today we're live.
We're drinking anything
And
but
we're
bourbon.
drinking anything but bourbon.
We didn't get to...
Actually, I want to rephrase that last sentence.
It did sound a little weird. We didn't get to throw our regular intro on there because I went into StreamYard, but I was in the wrong studio, so we went live and we're like...
Nobody can see us because we're in the practice studio, right?
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
Yep. So it's a good thing that you always go on your phone and check the live stream. And most of the time I'm like, well, we can see that it's live, so it's fine.
We should double check. Can anybody confirm that we're actually like...
Well, I think we're here now because I can see some folks watching. Got a bunch of comments already. So wait, 6/16, what is that? Did I put the wrong date on the...
he may have.
I may have done that, yeah. I could see me doing something like that.
Just be glad he didn't go ahead in time.
Sugar Kitty says the Inception stream because apparently we are in the future.
Or back.
Hanging AZ is here. Peter White is here. The usual suspects, you are correct. The Gregors from the Bourbon Note is here. That's awesome. Mike Myers, Steve Joes.
Dr. Robert.
Whiskey Wars, what's up, Sean? Drop some links for Whiskey Wars if anybody could. All the whiskey. Mike. Of all the Whiskey Tube channels, this is one of them. You are absolutely corrent.
He's an asshole.
Don't you forget it.
All right, so we do have.
We haven't seen the. Oh, go ahead and do it.
Real quick, just acknowledge that Steve Joes is here. We do have a thank you, Stephen Joes background, but we realized after we made it that
he was in the chat. Let's make sure he's still there and sees it, and then we can change it.
I'm sure he's still there. If he comes back, then we'll get it back on there. Okay, hit the likes. Yes, thank you, Hanging AZ.
Yeah. So if Steven is there, this is a very generous box that he sent us.
Yep.
That I don't even know what it is. We do know there's a Malort, and to be honest, I don't know what Malort is. I still don't know, but I'm totally willing to give it a try. It may be a
Stacy's here, 4-leaf.
Very small, quick try, and I regret all future decisions related to whiskey, but I'm trying it for now.
Yes, and Steve did say yes, we're live, so I'm pretty sure he saw the thank you. So yes, Steve Joes, thank you very, very much for sending these samples. We're going to get into them in just a second here. Friday, we did a Patreon-only live stream, which we hadn't done in a while, but we going to start doing those again, and it was an absolute blast.
It was supposed to go an hour, and it probably went an hour and a half or whatever.
Yeah, and everybody probably had a little more fun than they were even planning to.
That's right, they were overserved.
I understand a couple people had a difficult time at work the next day and had to work on Saturday.
Sugar Kitty, I think the point you're making is absolutely going to be my reaction, but...
Yeah, for sure. John Matlick is here. What's up, John Matlick?
I'm willing for now. John Kranz.
John Kranz is here. That's awesome. Let's see, where did, there's Sugar Kitty's comment here. Anyway, so what we did, Ryan Frank is here. What's happening? He was in the chat for the Patreon-only live stream. And we just put the link out there for anyone who was a Patreon supporter could hop on with us. Mm-hmm. And we had Bourbon School on there. We had Bad Axe Bobby. We had Baker Drinks. It was just a blast.
It was.
So if you want to get into some of that, check out the Patreon. But we do have... Bam, a live mail call here. And Steve, you'll notice I did cut the label off so I don't accidentally put your address out on the World Wide Web for all to see. And I did remove some of the tape here just to make sure that there wasn't...
We didn't want to have a knife injury on live YouTube.
Exactly. So, and we're going to get into this, but we have not...
Actually opened the box to see what's in there.
So we have some bubble wrap, which is great. Anytime this stuff gets included in its samples, I always save it so I can send it out. So these little bubble wraps and styrofoams, they make their way around the Whiskey Tube community.
That's right.
I think I might have to bust the knife out again. So usually I do an unboxing video.
Well, you are doing an unboxing
But yeah, we decided we're going to do this one live. Okay, I am going to have to use the knife.
Yeah.
I thought I had avoided this, but... cut towards Greg.
That's right.
I'm all about safety, my safety. So, hopefully this doesn't make too horrible of a noise in the microphone.
Yeah, people enjoy it.
But this is how they know we're getting the real first-time reaction. Now, Steve did send us a message saying what was in here. So
And
I think
a lot of stuff.
Oh, there's 6 of them actually.
Wow.
Okay. Well, here, why don't you open a couple of them?
Yeah, I have.
Talk amongst yourself for a moment for this riveting.
Well, it's
content.
It's an unboxing.
It is. It's a live unboxing. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone do a live unboxing.
Yes,
so
the
we
rest
could
of
be
you-
breaking new ground
That's
here,
right.
which is what we're all about here at the Bourbon Note.
Hey,
so,
you got a bottle.
how's the audio, by the way? We had some trouble with it before, so hopefully it's sounding good. I spent some time working on it.
Sometime you probably spent 40 hours in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I
on
spent
audio.
about 3 today.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have. All right. Oh, okay, so here is. I think we've got a couple of different kinds of this one brand.
Okay.
So we're getting into some international whiskey.
Yeah.
And so Steve sent us some samples from different whiskeys from around the world, different countries we've never had whiskey from. So it's not just Scotch and Irish, you know. Here, I'll take these and throw them, or here, throw them on the floor over there. Okay, so we've got 2 from this. No, they're not from the same distillery, but they're both from Iceland, I believe. Okay, so let's get into what we have here.
Hang in, why would you know that?
Is it true?
It is true.
Oh, okay, look at that.
It's a Spyderco Delica.
Oh, okay. So we have got Floki Distiller's Choice, 7-year, 3 years in Virgin American Oak, and 4 years in Malbag Stout Cask. Bottle number 31, 120 proof Icelandic single malt whiskey.
And this is the
120
one
proof.
we believe they use sheep dung to...
This is the sheep dung one, and this has a little something taped to it, so let's find out what this is all about.
Okay.
It looks like a folded up personal check.
It's
I'm assuming
probably a note.
Oh, it's got the
The details.
some details here. Okay.
Excellent.
So this is Floki Single Malt Reserve Sheep Dung Smoked, Iceland, 47% alcohol. So we get 94 proof on that one.
I carry Endura on the weekends.
Do you want me to? Should I read this real quick? Just so you guys know exactly.
I am so looking forward to this whiskey. I want to know everything I can about it.
It says, our Sheep Dung Smoked Reserve is a truly unique smoked malt. Here we apply an old traditional Icelandic smoking style using sheep dung to smoke the barley. The result is a unique, I bet it is.
Let's hope so.
Unique whiskey with a complex flavor profile. I bet it is. Pleasant nose with fruitcake notes, honey, and stewed apple. Herbal hints. I'm trying to kind of proof through this.
Yeah.
It's very hard to read. It's black with faded white lettering, and I'm having a trouble. Anyway, but you get the point of it.
Yeah.
There's kind of a lot of info there. Then we have Paul John India Single Malt. Single Barrel Select, 110.4 proof. So we've never had anything from India before.
Wow. I didn't even know there was Indian...
I feel like you're too far over that way. Bring it. Get in here, Greg.
Well, it's the world's the wrong way.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
But, all right.
Yeah,
So
now we're more centered.
So I know that... I'm just curious. I know nothing about any of these whiskeys you've mentioned before.
I don't either.
So the Icelandic ones, I do know that like everything from Iceland, it's an island, is crazy expensive.
Sure.
So I'm sure these are expensive compared to like your average Scotch. Or,
I bet if you get this in Iceland, it's probably not too bad because
right. I'm just curious. What are
then
we,
it's not an import.
Is this a $100 bottle or a $1,000 bottle?
I don't think
kind of
they
thing?
are because I did do a little bit of minor research and I saw some of these.
So Sugar Kitty,
similar
I've heard
ones
that as
online.
well. But I think they're more of a Scotch style, is my guess.
Well, I think this India one is it's a single malt, so
Okay,
it's just
okay.
their
Yep,
own.
yep.
So this is Have or something like that. Single malt whiskey, High Coast Distillery, Sweden.
Wow.
96 proof. All right. And this is Crown Royal Crowning the Millennium, bottled in 2000.
Wait a minute.
Bottled in 2000.
That's
80
23
proof.
years. 23 years ago.
Yeah.
And wait, that's the one from Canada?
It's Crown Royal, like actual Crown Royal. And
Wow.
then we have Malort. This is the only thing, incidentally, from America. So, let's get into, I'm trying to go by proof here maybe a little bit. Although this sheep dung one, okay, so yeah, this will go just fine
Okay.
in order of proof. So let's get in.
So is Malort last?
Well, we're doing Malort last just because that's the outlier.
Okay.
It not actually being a whiskey.
Okay. So I forget, what is it? Is Malort a liqueur? I honestly don't know.
It just says Jepson's enjoy. Jepson's Malort liqueur for Greg, 70 proof. So I don't have to drink this because this is specifically for Greg.
Okay. All right. I'm game.
I'm going to take small sips of these because I'm doing small pours, and I do want to have some for the blend.
I'm going to set them out here, but I'm facing them this way so I know what I'm drinking.
Okay.
And I actually poured over there, so what? Yeah. It's almost like I've never done this before.
The sheep dung whiskey. I got to tell you, for sheep dung being part of the process, I was expecting it to be a little darker. That's number 3. That's the sheep dung.
All right. And you did a small pour of this one.
I'm doing like fairly small pours of all of them. Kind of getting it so maybe all of them would equal one normal size pour, or maybe one 3-ounce pour.
Yeah.
It's a school night after all.
It is.
All right, so chime in here, folks, if you guys have had any of these at all.
This is such an interesting.
This is going to be a very interesting flight.
It's bittered liqueur. Wow.
It's a bitter aperitif. Okay.
That's such a great description, and it means nothing to
OG Brick
me.
is here. Hey, OG, did you ever crack open that that bottle of the Maker's Mark? Darkness comes from aging in the oak. Well, I understand that, but was this not aged? Well, I mean, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. That was a joke. That was my attempt at, like, it should be darker because there's crap involved with it. Get it? Like, it should be a little more brown than it is.
It's the fuel, not mixed with it.
I do realize that aging, the color comes from the oak.
I mean,
I've learned a thing or two while doing this.
Just like in Scotland, the peated scotches, they don't mix it with it. They just use it to heat.
Yeah, but it imparts the flavor. So this could taste like sheep dung.
I think it's going to be like Isla Scotch. That's where I think it's going.
It could be, yeah.
But to be honest, do you have anything to compare it to? When's the last time you had sheep dung?
I'd rather not answer.
Out of an abundance of caution, I choose not to answer this question.
I need just a tiny bit more in this because I legitimately can't even smell it. The 80 proof Crown.
Sparky? Do we know Sparky?
Sparky 2416.
Wow.
1.405 billion people. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Maybe some particulate matter. All right, let's get into the Crown Royal. So this is bottled in 2000.
Bottled in 2000.
But I wonder if was it barreled in 1998 then?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, got it. And we think that, the rumor is that it doesn't age in the glass bottle.
No, it does not age in the bottle. So Steve, let us know what the deal with this Crown Royal is, or if it's just a commemorative Crown Royal.
Could be. All right, so.
Tastes like Crown Royal.
I like Crown Royal. I don't knock it. I definitely have had Crown and Coke a few times. There's nothing it's a little one note.
Yeah, the 80 proof.
It's one note, 80 proof, but I like it just fine. It's got a good flavor.
I feel like people that aren't into whiskey at all, that literally only drink one
Easily
whiskey and they drink Crown, but I think that they think it's like a top shelf.
Oh, it looks great.
It does, and it comes in a little purple bag, and it's got the fancy bottle, and it's called Crown Royal. Yeah. And so I think that for people that only drink Crown Royal in Cokes or whatever, or maybe even shots of Crown Royal that don't drink any other kind of whiskey, I think this is kind of seen as a premium, like we drink good whiskey.
As opposed to Jack and Coke, which would be
which I think is infinitely
collar.
Better. I mean, it's...
Yeah, now that I know what Jack is, and the basic Jack Daniels is fine, but...
Sparky 1426 is from Canada. Well, that answers your question.
I was wondering where it was from.
Yeah. You're not going to go with the Sacramento joke?
Oh, it's been several weeks.
Yeah. It has.
We need to find the next Whiskey Wisdom. I actually don't know who Whiskey Wisdom is either. Do you?
Where do we?
Right.
Oh no, I don't. So welcome to the chat.
Yeah,
Good evening,
and
everyone. Cheers. Well, welcome.
So Whiskey Wisdom, if you're still here, thanks for joining. We need to know: are you from Sacramento?
Yes, they think Crown is the king. I've seen it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The Crown was a limited edition called Crowning the Millennium, a commemorative one. Okay. 99 perspectives, interesting backdrop. It works. It's festive.
It feels a little bit like the Bourbon News Hour, if I'm honest. Georgia,
okay.
the one in USA.
All right.
Because there's actually another one.
All right, so the Crown is exactly what Crown is.
Okay, so 99 perspectives. If you're watching, we need to explain what we're doing. International whiskeys. You probably got that from the sign, but whiskey number 2 is from Iceland, I think, right?
No, this is Sweden.
Oh, Sweden.
96 proof Swedish single malt.
But whiskey number 3 is from Iceland.
Ooh.
And it's dried with sheep dung.
It's basically peated essentially with sheep,
That-
but it's not
that's-
peat. But I mean, it's the
that's
smoking
our
and
assumption.
drying of barley process that
Yes.
they use peat for.
So here we go with Sweden. From Canada, which I liked, to now Sweden.
It's got a great nose on it, actually.
Oh, it's got a Flintstone vitamin, kind of like that minerally, chalky.
It does have a bit of a minerally thing going on. But it's definitely got all the kind of the hallmarks of a
But then it also
single
has
malt.
like a sweet, like candy note.
It's got the apple and pear. All right, let's go in
All right,
for it
here
here.
we go.
Cheers. 96 proof.
Oh, it's very smoky.
Yeah.
Didn't expect
it
that.
Definitely has some.
Wow.
It's got some peaty vibes to it. That's really good, actually.
It's really good. If you like a... I'm trying to think
It's
of
a
good
little bit,
comparison.
and I don't know anything about this. Maybe it's not peated, and maybe it just tastes like that for some odd reason.
It sure drinks like a peated scotch.
It does, but it doesn't have all the medicinal notes and the
not the-
Band-Aid
exactly.
note that like the Lefroy carries with it.
Exactly. This is nice. I genuinely like this a lot.
Yeah, for sure. That's a nice surprise. Never had Swedish whiskey
Steve,
before, so
So far, great choices.
yeah. You get one more, or should we just go like one taste of each of these?
You can do whatever you want. Are you saving some for a Benny Walker special?
Oh hell yeah!
So for those of you watching that maybe haven't seen this in a while, so after we do a flight, Ben invented, and it had never been done before in the history
No
of
one
the world.
had ever done blending before.
So he saves a little bit, and we pour, and we'll do a blend of these 5 whiskeys. We're going to leave them a little separate, and maybe we'll include it, maybe we won't in the blend.
Yeah.
But it's our assumption that this weird mix of a Canadian, a Swedish, 2 Icelandic, and I forget what the other one was. Whatever that was.
India.
India.
Yep.
These whiskeys have never in the history of the world been blended.
I would imagine they haven't. I'm just getting like a good sip
Yeah.
of each, and I can pour more, but I'm trying to keep these
Yep.
kind of lower pours. Sugar Kitty had asked what the proof is on this or what the ABV. It's 96 proof. So what is that? 48%? Math. Did I get the little ding? Okay. So yeah, that's got a really nice. And the reason I'm only doing one sip too is that we do have a little bit more of these, so we can
Sure, yeah.
taste them later on and enjoy them.
Yep.
So I'm not only just getting the one sip, but I'm going to get some water in between all of these.
That's right.
Steve Joe says the Swedish whiskey was rated number 6 in 2021 by Whiskey Advocate. Nice.
I really like that Swedish one. I mean, obviously, I'm getting notes that are similar to others I've had, and I like. So that
And it was incredibly bold after the.
the
Crown Royal.
Yeah, the Crown Royal it's light.
It's
and
80 proof. I mean, it
it's
is
one
what
note.
it is.
Yep.
Okay, so this next one. Now we're getting to the sheep dung.
Sheep dung and 47. So I guess that's a 92. Yep. Icelandic.
Yeah, I was just catching up on some chats here.
But I expect it to be smoky as well. Daywalker blend.
Did you say Daywalker? I'm beyond Daywalker. I'm full on ginger, full on vampire. Daywalker can at least be out. It's a reference like a vampire that can be out in the sun.
Well, that's right. You were a big Twilight fan, weren't you?
No, God, no. Although I did go and see all those places.
There's no finish to that
where those were filmed. Well, here's the thing. I had a daughter that was super into, like, she was of the perfect age for those.
Daughter. Yes.
Yeah, so I did see a couple of them, and they are dreadful movies.
She was a year and a half old at the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason I sent them was for the blend. Well, you're not going to get disappointed in that then,
no, we will,
Steve.
We will deliver.
So I would expect this to be smoky on some level because they burned something to
I don't even know.
Dry it.
I don't have words for that. So I'm definitely getting the medicinal Lafroig kind of notes.
Oh, I'm not getting that.
Oh, I'm getting like raw. There's a vegetable, like a Brussels sprout that's not had enough time to Brussels, maybe. There's something there that's no bueno.
Thanks, Whiskey Wisdom. Don't blend them together. It might start a chain reaction and destroy us all.
There's a
It might.
non-zero chance of that. Twilight. Oh man, there's something about this. There's a artichoke heart or Brussels sprout or some sort of like pickled vegetable that I'm not a fan of, and that's what I'm getting off this.
Are you sure it's not sheep turds that you're getting off of this?
I have less experience with
Because here's the thing.
I have to say.
Peat smoke, when you burn peat, it does impart like that earthy, boggy sort of...
Which I tend to like, but
right,
not always.
so when you burn...
I would expect it to be quite similar.
Sheep dung, you would imagine it's going to impart some... I'm not going to lie to you, now that it's here, I have a bit of trepidation about drinking it.
I mean, I was totally into it until I smelled it, and now while I was enthusiastic about buying a bottle, I'm less enthusiastic. Yeah, kimchi. You know what, Sugar Kitty? The kimchi note is not totally off base. Okay. All right, I'm going for it.
I don't know how to describe the smell of this.
Yeah, it's vinegary in a weird way.
In a weird way, but there's almost like a Tootsie Pop vibe too, like that dark fake chocolate, which I know is...
Yes, let's go down that road.
Okay, let's try this out. Cheers.
It's a bit nutty. You know, I'm getting ground coffee grounds. Coffee grounds.
I can see a little bit of that. Yeah, maybe that's that dark. There's like a chocolatey, but there's like a darkness to it. Maybe that's what it is.
It's kind of like you have a cup of coffee, but there's grounds at the bottom of the cup. A little bit. The nose is more interesting than the flavor. Like, flavor's fine, more traditional whiskey, single malty kind of.
It's definitely got something different, though.
It does a little bit. It is in the peated range, but not extreme like Lafroig.
I would say this is an extremely... So this is a single malt still. That cooking sheep dung to dry your barley apparently does impart a very unique flavor.
Oh,
that's
sure, totally.
Definitely different than any single malt I've had.
Yes. And
I don't know what to compare that to.
And it's probably not very well aged, would be my guess, but I'm guessing there.
This has a little bit of that earthy...
I've never had Vegemite, but asparagus is another reasonable guess. I like asparagus, though.
This kind of has that Tootsie Pop vibe. That remember off of the Corbin Cash, we got that earthy note, and it was that rich, like Tootsie Roll, like the fake, rich, darker chocolate.
I can kind of see some of that artificial flavor.
Yeah,
note.
it's got a little bit of that. It's very, very interesting, but it's definitely, for those of you just joining us, we're drinking whiskey that was basically, well, you can't say peated because peated just refers to, so this was sheep dunged.
Well, yeah.
The grains were dried with burning piles of sheep shit. So yeah, that's
I like Sugar Kitty's comments.
All right. Hold on a second. Let me try something.
Works.
I tested the music earlier. I can actually turn that down just in our monitor. That's how fancy I've gotten.
Oh, that's pretty fancy.
Well, yeah, let's get to. Let us know if how does the music sound? Is it? add a little bit to the background here, or should we just kill it?
Yeah. What's that? Ask the.
I've been spending a lot of time
Someone's
working.
talking about sweet potato. I love sweet potatoes, and there's been a lot of references in our recent videos about sweet potato whiskey, and I got to figure out where to find some. It's in California somewhere. I just don't know where.
Yeah, somebody has brought that up. Hanging AZ with the info. All right, let's move on to this India single malt. It's real quiet. Good. It's supposed to be just kind of background.
Yeah.
I just turned it on when I mentioned it. I had just turned it on. Okay, so let's get into this one. So this is Paul John India single malt. The music's basically there to, when we're not talking, to just have some sound.
Sure, it's filler.
Yeah. Single barrel
Like
select.
the sheep dung.
110.4 proof.
110
Yep.
from an India single malt. That's
Yep.
crazy.
So we've never had India whiskey before. Boy, I really have the aftertaste of that one. So getting back to the sheep dung one, that's very unique, but that's not something I would sit and probably drink. Whereas this Sweden one, I probably would.
Yeah, totally. That Sweden one, that was number 2, right? Yeah, that was great. I really like that. The sheep dung one, I did not hate, but it is a little on the off-putting side.
Yeah. I'm trying to get over back to the thing here. Okay. All right. So 110 proof. Boy, that's light on the nose, but there's almost a little bit of a bourbon-y vibe to that. Almost like it was aged in bourbon cask or something. Are you getting a little bit of that sweetness, like the little barrel sweetness? And a little caramel almost.
Really getting vanilla.
Or yeah, a little bit of vanilla. It's got this. It's definitely got the sweeter notes of a bourbon. I think I'm gonna like this one.
Okay, high hopes.
Let's try it. Cheers. Oh wow!
You could convince me this is a pretty standard single malt that was finished in a rye cask. Like it has just a little bit of a rye whiskey kind of influence.
I could see that more on the palate than the nose.
Yep.
The nose I got almost like a bourbon cask or something like that. But this is really good actually. I think this has a nice bite to it.
The proof
It's
point
got
is
a
noticeable. 110 kind of shows up.
But it's got nice the wood sugars that we talk about with bourbon sometimes.
Yep.
Maybe that's kind of what I'm getting.
But I would say the apple note that we get on malted barleys is prominent. Like there is no hiding the fact this is a malted barley forward
Yeah, for
whiskey.
sure.
Yeah.
But I do feel like this actually has something a little more to offer than most of the just standard scotches that I have.
Then a standard,
Even like like I've got that Macallan 15 that's like triple cask.
Yep.
It's a couple bourbon casks, like sherry cask or something like that.
Right.
And this one, it's got the higher proof point, but it definitely has a little bit more to offer.
Yeah.
I think.
I like
And I've
this.
had a lot of scotches. Like we actually had a control whiskey before we started the stream. We did a single malt, Glenrothes bourbon cask reserve, and that's good. But I mean, like even again, it could be a proof thing.
Sure.
But that's really got some good flavor. So far, the Swedish one and the India one, are definitely standouts. I don't know why.
They're all winners, Ben. They're all winners. And
Well, we
now-
haven't gotten to the Malort yet. That's when we find out if we're really going to win tonight.
That's right. So 7-year Icelandic Floki Distillers Choice. Is that what this is? Yeah.
Yep. So now this is from the same distillery as the sheep dung one, but this is not a sheep dung.
Bottle number 31, 120 proof. Yep.
Okay.
So
And this one, did you just read the aging?
So 7 years and 3 years was in something else.
Yep, 3 years in Virgin American Oak. 4 years in, is it Malbygg? Malbygg stout cask. So that should be interesting.
So typically single malts are not in new charred oak, or well, we don't know charred. But
Yeah, I just said Virgin American Oak.
yeah. So as opposed to used casks. So anyway, this could have a pretty prominent wood note, and it's definitely darker in the glass.
Yeah.
So, Steven, you've had great picks so far. Let's see how this one does.
Let me go back to this sheep dung.
It's
Oh,
a fourth
wow.
time. That's
God, go back and smell that now. It just jumps out of the glass.
kind of that pot still and bug spray kind of note.
Oh, what is... There's something specific. I've gone back to this now. There's something specific that I just can't pin down.
It's
That's
a little
what she
like
said.
It's a little like Play-Doh, like a...
Oh, there's almost a little bit of a cedar vibe to it as well.
Grape leaves?
Or some sort of like mulch. Maybe like mulch, cedar mulch.
Huh.
Yeah, some sort of mulch. Anyway, going back to the...
Okay, Malbeg is one of the about 4 microbreweries in Iceland. See?
Sugar Kitty. Always with the info.
That's right. The walk-in Wikipedia.
Okay. Now this is kind of lost a little bit on the nose because I went back to the sheep dung one. And
It's got
considering
nice.
that the sheep dung, that's a 47%. So that's 94 proof compared to this at 120. And the nose on the sheep dung is infinitely stronger. Are you noticing that?
I'm not getting a lot out of this rather well-aged 120 proof.
Yeah, that's
it's
interesting.
nice.
You can definitely
Like-
tell in the color that it's
Yeah.
a little more aged. Let's go in for the taste here. Cheers. Oh, wow.
It's very dry. It has an acidic kind of quality.
But it doesn't have a sharp alcohol bite.
I kind of think it is. It does
Really?
have
I'm
a
not
pretty
getting that.
prominent wood spice.
It definitely has that, but I'm not getting like I'm comparing this to like a Knob Creek, 120 proof.
Sure.
Alcohol-wise, not flavor-wise,
Yeah.
of course, but and it doesn't have that same proof bite.
So I'm getting a pretty good burn off of this, and I associate it with the ethanol because it's maybe the oak and the alcohol. Like it's very dry. It's very like
Is there maybe some
bitter and
fig,
tannin.
plum?
It's in that like the
Earthy.
leather earthy.
Yeah, I would say earthy, and then as far as like any sort of a fruit note, maybe like a plum. I'm not getting any sort of like an apple or pear that we usually get off of a single malt. And this is a single malt, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, Icelandic single malt. So that's interesting to know that this is what a malted barley whiskey can do.
Yeah.
Because this is completely. If you gave me this blind, I would have no idea what to guess it was.
Yeah, right. It's
I
very.
mean, it doesn't taste like anything I've had before.
But I really like it. Like it's not so far out there that I hate it.
Which one is that they are drinking currently? Whiskey Wisdom. We are currently drinking the Floki Distiller's Choice 7-year, 3 years in Virgin American Oak, and 4 years in Malbag Stout Cask. 120 proof Icelandic single malt. So here's the thing. I like this. It's interesting. But this falls into that category of like one pour is plenty.
One pour, yeah. Yeah, yes, Floki. I believe you have it spelled correctly. Yeah, Icelandic.
So we've got Canadian, Swedish, Icelandic sheep dung,
India.
and Iceland again. But that Iceland stuff is very different. The Swedish one is definitely more traditional single malt.
I'm gonna try that again.
That's the one that we got a little bit of the more peaty vibes off of.
But you could even it's got some nice sweetness, kind of like a bourbon or maybe a rye that has a little bit of corn in it. Like nice, it works well.
It doesn't say anything about the aging. I do have a picture of the box, I think, because he sent us a picture, so I wonder if it says anything. Not that I can read in this.
You know what this is taught me?
It says have, H-A-V, have, I'm assuming, oak spice. It just
nice.
says oak spice on it. So we're definitely getting that.
Well, we made a joke about wood whiskey a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what this is. You know what? But what it has taught me is when I walk into a liquor store, I go straight to the bourbon aisle because bourbon. I occasionally will visit the Canadian section or American whiskey or however
Sure.
it's broke out.
They're usually kind of lined up right there. You don't
Sometimes,
have to,
but
don't have to go far.
I almost never look at scotches, and I definitely don't look at world whiskeys. And at a bigger store, they probably would have a collection with a few others. I need to look at a few more international things.
Yeah. So in closing, the Crown Royal is Crown Royal. It is what it is. It's
Yep.
80 proof.
Yep.
The Swedish one is really good, I think.
Yes.
The sheepdog one is so weird.
It's weird. It's a novelty, if I'm honest.
This will be fun because I'm guessing you probably don't want to sit around and drink the sheep tongue one.
It'll hopefully go well in the blend.
Yeah, but that'll be fun we try that with some friends or something like that and pour a little bit because that's a little bit bigger of a sample, and I think that's fun to
totally.
to have kind of like the novelty of it will be a lot of fun. He says Steve says lots of fluff on the Hav box and bottle, but nothing about aging. Okay, and then so the Icelandic ones were definitely the weirdest ones,
which is not a surprise. Iceland, I mean, it's an island and they've been separated from the rest of humanity for quite a bit of their history. So.
I got to say the India one is Paul John.
Yeah.
And then again, the Swedish one is the Hav Single Malt by High Coast Distillery.
Yeah.
Those are my two winners. Okay. The time has come.
The time has come.
We got to make this a little intense now because we're about to get to the Benny Walker special. So, are you ready to do this?
You want to do it now, not include the Malort?
We'll blend the whiskey and then
Okay.
we'll do the Malort.
Okay. So here we go. And it is our belief that this whiskey has never in the history of the world.
There's no way this has ever been done.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy. Dave is here. Running late, had to cut the grass. That's okay.
Hey Dave, should we talk about his email now? Or should we do that offline?
Was there an email?
It was.
Oh. Let's see.
Well, let's do the blend. We'll get back to you, Dave. We saw the email and we'll reach out.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
The nose is fairly interesting. It really does kind of smell like a blend of all of these.
Imagine that. But it actually works well. I'm getting some really nice pastry spice or pastry sweetness.
Yeah.
And then, sure enough.
The sheep dung?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of get a little bit of everything out of this.
Yep.
All right, should we try it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, hold on a second. We need to... Steve was asking for a drum roll, so we got the timpani going on here.
All right. All right.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm fully into the blend on this.
That's what she said.
I feel like the notes from the two that I especially like are kind of trying to show up.
They're losing.
They're losing. There's that.
Yeah, they're losing.
You know what it is? It really is that kind of... The Icelandic stuff had that really earthy...
unique flavor, and that's still prominent.
And that was the part that we didn't like on that one particular Corbin Cash.
Mm-hmm.
There was this weird kind of earthy...
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain, but yeah, it's almost like mulchy, like wood mulch or something like that.
So I'm getting a real, chalky, kind of like...
Oh, look at this. Ryan Frank just verified with his people. We are the first in history. All right. Awesome.
All right.
Good for us.
That's what she said.
Okay, so here's what we have to do now. We're going to set the blend aside,
Okay.
and we're going to get into...
Do we need to clean a glass?
Oh, yeah, because we need to have this as like the most...
Oh, wait, I don't need to clean a glass. I have 6 glasses, but whatever. I need some
we
water.
can't have the glass tainted because we have to have this to be like the most...
Tainted by Crown Royal.
Yeah, well... Okay.
It's like inviting a sword-toting Viking to a local church tea party.
That's a great way to describe that blend.
Yeah, that's all things wrong. But it's not horrible, in summary. It's just a little...
Did you finish the blend?
I will.
Okay, because we can add some Malort to it and see if that
Yeah,
helps it out.
I'm prepared to have a straight pour of Malort.
Okay. So this is what...
I may be looking forward to this blend here in a minute, I think.
The amount that we've heard of Malort, because we've had the Jepson's store pick.
Oh, yeah, some of the regular
And
Jepson stuff is
Jepson's-
great.
Yeah, Jepson's is the one who makes
And
Malort.
it's only 70 proof. I mean, it's basically water.
Somebody had said in the comments earlier that basically every whiskey tuber has like a funny Malort video,
Really?
apparently. So
Well, we'll be
this
the
stuff
first to not have a funny Malort video.
is a very storied liquor, I guess.
I know nothing about it, so let's just go for it.
All right. I'm gonna
Oh, you
finish
want me
up-
to-
Oh, I'm going to finish up my water here in the glass.
I'm going to have me a large pour.
I might have to have a bourbon after all of this.
Maybe two.
I didn't bring any up. There's some samples in there. We might have to
Yeah, we'll find a sample.
polish off one of those. Okay, let's get into the Malort here. Okay, so this is just Malort liqueur, wormwood. People are putting in the...
Yeah, I think people are just messing with this. Like they were
We'll
kidding
be
with
on the
it.
toilet later on. Okay, so apparently Malort has a reputation. Let's go in for the nose. Completely new experience here. I have no idea what to expect.
Almost getting nothing. Maybe a little bit of like lemon pledge, like furniture polish.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. Yeah, that is totally like a furniture polish, like dusting. I want this to be the most in-depth review we've ever done. I want to really put some time into this.
Yeah, I mean we've got 18 minutes.
Yeah,
And
let's just really stretch this one out as far as we
That's
can.
what she said.
I mean, I can say on the nose it's not offensive.
Yeah,
That's what she said.
You know.
like honestly, that's the lemon pledge is a pretty.
Yeah, I mean, it's not appealing. Not necessarily looking forward to drinking this. JT is in the house.
JT.
Dirty pennies and an old gym sock.
Smothered in grapefruit.
Oh, God, I'm getting the gym sock now.
Yeah, it's gone a little bit musty.
Yeah,
All right,
that's the longest anyone has ever sat and just nosed Malort for tasting notes. Cheers, we're doing it
all
finally.
right, here we go.
Oh, God.
That's pretty good.
Tastes like chemical shit. Oh. Oh, my God.
You
That
don't
is
like that?
awful.
It's a little off-putting.
Oh, God, you know what that tastes like?
This.
Ugh, hold on. Maybe I just...
No, you gotta try it again. You had set yourself up for like poor expectations. It's pretty good.
No, I set myself up for mediocre because it's like I wasn't getting a whole lot off of the smell. That's strong tasting.
So it's only 70 proof, and it has a very strong flavor.
Oh, God.
It's not.
I'm gonna puke. That's so bad.
Yeah, it's honestly
Oh.
heinous. Yeah. Believe it or not, sheep dung was not the worst bottle that we tried from tonight.
Yes, Sugar Kitty, that's perfect. That's what I'm getting. It's aspirin. It tastes like aspirin.
Yeah, that's a really
Oh.
good description.
That's exactly what it is.
And why would you know that?
I heard so John Krantz says, cheers, Aiden. Aiden's in here. Yes, we are trying Malort, Aiden. He probably tuned in just as I was going, oh, God, it's awful, and then knew what it was. That's exactly what that is. That is aspirin.
So it tastes like a lemony kind of flavor, which I don't love lemon, but it's fine. And then it has this extreme bitterness, which I'm guessing is the wormwood kicked in. And they use some really powerful worms, or I don't even know what a wormwood is.
I'd rather have the sheep dung, and I legitimately mean just the sheep dung on its own.
Yeah, forget the whiskey, just the sheep dung.
Yeah.
It's
Are you really not finding this just awful? Like, it's almost making my eyes water. It's so bad.
I think it's bad, and it's
God.
its only purpose in the world, like our channel, is to make people like feel
Clean a shower or something like
bad
that?
about themselves.
So what? Okay, let me ask you this: what is this meant for? So you're saying lemon
Yes.
pledge and aspirin? Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing. So before Sugar Kitty pointed out the aspirin, which is an absolutely
It's a great descriptor.
perfect description.
Yep.
Another thing I was going to say, but maybe not everybody knows what this is. There's this stuff that I put on my nails sometimes to help you to stop
How are you
biting.
gonna finish this sentence?
Yeah, I know. It's so I was trying to quit. I'm a terrible, terrible nail biter. So there's this stuff you can put on there, and it tastes really bad. So the idea is it'll keep you from biting your nails.
I just found
and
it.
it's basically tastes like nail polish remover, smells like that
Sure.
that rubbing alcohol. And so anytime you accidentally forget, like I think I had it on there one night when I was like eating something and I licked my finger, and it was like this visceral.
Yeah.
You know, like it burns your throat, and that's also what it tastes like. But I realize that not everybody has probably had
Tastes
that
like
before.
burning.
Oh, God. JT says it's meant for that reaction. Well, then it's getting its...
So, Sugar Kitty, I think...
It's meant to cure you of stomach parasites. Honestly, that's nasty.
But if bourbon can't do it, like what? I wonder what's in there that's more acidic or is it basic?
Well, no, you pour this down there, the parasites get a taste of it, and they run out of
Well, yes.
the nearest exit.
But so is this a basic? Because it's like I don't think it's acidic. I think it's basic, which is alkalines have a very weird flavor. I forget. It's been a long time since I've had a chemistry class. I think the pH value of this is very low.
That's like the most in-depth tasting
That's-
notes.
I think
like
that's where
in-depth
it's-
review of a liquor.
Or high. I think that, no, alkalines are high. Anyway,
Steve Joe says, I'm hearing you want the rest of it. No, God.
so so we have to know, is this a 750 milliliter type bottle that you can buy at every liquor store? Or is it very hard to find? And
I think you can get it anywhere.
approximate price?
Is there anything Sugar Kitty does not have the info on? It says rubbing alcohol has an artificial chemical in it to make it undrinkable. Yes, the cure for biting nails is the same chemical. Look at that.
That's amazing. And then Sugar Kitty also confirmed bitter equals, again, he is a walking Wikipedia.
He is an encyclopedia, yeah. That's what kills the parasites. Interesting. Okay, this says, per the Malort back label, the aroma and full-bodied flavor of an unusual botanical. Its bitter taste is savored by two-fisted drinkers.
Does that mean you have to be drunk when you drink it? And maybe it like fixes what ails you kind of thing?
Yeah.
I don't know what a two-fisted drinker is.
Maybe just people who,
Get after it?
just drink a lot.
All right. So while Ryan Frank confirmed before, I'm sure we're going to pave new ground.
No one's ever done this before.
Mixing these 5 fine whiskeys with the Malort. You know, I do have to say, I was thinking I would come into this review wanting to buy the Sheep Dung Icelandic whiskey. I don't think I'm going to find it and buy it. I didn't hate it. I would actually buy the 7-year one.
The Floki?
Yeah, Floki, I genuinely like that. And I think it's weird enough and unique enough that I wouldn't mind having a bottle of it. The Indian one I loved. The Sweden one I loved. And Crown Royal also was on the list. You didn't have to say it there, Sugar Kitty.
Sugar Kitty.
I mean... All right, I'm going
We were all thinking it. But Sugar Kitty says in his other comment, for many years I wrote chemical software for flavors and fragrances. I know a ton of chemistry and flavorings. Interesting. That must seriously come in
so handy now as whiskey
come in
savant.
handy. Yeah, exactly, for sure. Well, it's certainly working out for us because
That's
we
right.
always have him in the live stream. So whatever we should, every time we do a review, we should just have him on like Phone a Friend, you know, like...
All right, here we go. Malort with the others.
I literally don't want to drink this.
Good news for everybody wondering. The blend wasn't great before. It's less great. The bitterness comes through. Good job, Malort.
That was terrible.
Oh my God. This Malort is so bad.
How bad is it?
Oh God.
If you throw up on live
I'm
YouTube,
not going to throw up, but honestly, like it's.
Can we stop this cruel game?
There's no way I can drink that.
it's
It's
bad.
making my eye twitch, and I'm absolutely not exaggerating that. Like that flavor to me is so visceral. That aspirin flavor.
Yeah, like it's off-putting in a way that few other things are.
Oh God. It's
So while we know that Sugar Kitty knows everything about whiskey,
you need a pickle Brian Chaser. That would legitimately make me throw up.
yeah,
So well, Sugar Kitty says, "Oh no, it can't really be that bad. This is how you know people that never actually had it." Yeah, you know what it is too is that aspirin flavor is something that just it's like a
it
it's
doesn't
like a
go away.
triggering.
Like it like gets stuck in your throat, back of your throat, and it doesn't leave.
Yeah. But it's almost a triggering taste to me where it invokes a visceral reaction.
Yes.
Like if I had known that tastes like aspirin, I don't know if I would have even gotten myself to convince myself to drink it.
But here's where we can go with this. We know Sugar Kitty and several others in the chat know a ton about whiskey. They watch a lot of the Whiskey Tube, which is awesome, and we all learn from them. They've never had this blend, ever.
So the next winner of Whiskey Trivia Night in America is getting a blend of all these.
Is going to get a partially drank out of Glencairn with
No,
some
we'll
whiskey.
we'll save enough to make sure you get a fresh blend.
That's
But
right.
it'll be the worst whiskey you've ever had in your life. At least they're worm free.
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
like something like that gives you worms.
Nah,
I can't get this taste out of my mouth.
I agree.
That's what she said.
You should go see if there's a bourbon.
I'm gonna go over to there's a box over here from live streaming a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So let me rummage through here and see if
So there's that Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye.
that's downstairs.
Oh.
There's a couple that we haven't had yet, so I don't want to get into those. And well, here, let's we can each get a little bit out of this. This is the Redwood Empire Haystack Needle Double Barrel, finished in apple brandy, 110 proof.
Nice.
This one was from Baker Drinks. Oh, God, that was just an awful experience. That's the worst alcohol I've ever had in my life, and I'm not exaggerating.
So I finished the blend, but I had to force it down. I enjoyed it. Glad I had the opportunity, but I certainly would not want to do that again. But the good news is, if I ever get worms, yeah, water helps.
It's making it's
Yeah.
bringing the taste back.
So Sugar Kitty actually mentioned that. Like, water is actually a really bad idea.
Oh, God.
And it's something to do with chemistry, and like I don't know. The
Yeah, he
details,
said
but,
something about,
yeah.
well, it's on the screen there, so that I can't really let me go full screen here.
He's gone blind, ladies and gentlemen.
An antidote would be an acid, so yes, a pickle would do that. I would honestly put just like battery acid in my mouth right now.
Okay, Drifting Drams is here.
Why in God's name would somebody even make that? Oh, God, that's the worst thing I've ever had.
Well, would you rather have that or worms?
Worms.
Don't answer
Worms,
that.
for sure. I would definitely rather have a parasite in my stomach. Like, if I got worms and then the only cure was that, I'd just be like, okay, you know what? I've lived a good life. We'll just pack it up. Not doing it.
Yeah.
Yes, Ryan Frank, cheap-ass schnapps sounds wonderful right now. Hey, Drifting Drams. Good
Yeah.
to see you in the chat. Drop a link to Drifting Drams if some mods can. Water is neutral. All you will do is make more. But yes, that's what it's doing.
Exactly. See, you need to drink milk or...
Well, he said acid, so what can I drink to make this go away? So I should probably also say, when I was a kid, I couldn't swallow pills. So I used to have to, my mom would like crush up the aspirin and maybe put it in like a spoon, when I was a little kid, with like some sugar, something to try to get me to take it. And I just remember sometimes trying to to swallow a pill or trying to, eat the crushed up aspirin, and how it would just linger. And I think that's probably why it's such a visceral reaction for me.
Totally. Yep.
Bourbon School is in the house. You just missed us drinking Malort for the first time. Nearly puked on the live stream.
It's unpleasant to. We should send them a sample. We'll find a way to get. Yeah, you guys need to pick it up. It's amazing. It is the greatest thing you're ever gonna have.
It's literally. How does it make water taste bad? Like when the water hits your mouth after. Find some orange juice. That would help. That's acidic.
Yep. All right, here we go. Are you doing the? Is this the whiskey, or are you still drinking water? Okay.
Just cleaning out the glass. Oh God, this better help. This is gonna taste so weird after that now.
That's right. Are you slammered?
Slammered, what's happening?
Unfortunately, we're drinking weird stuff. And
oh God, it's just so bad.
When the sheep dung whiskey was not the worst thing you had in a flight, you're in trouble.
Okay, let's get some bourbon. This is bourbon, right? Or is it rye? This is bourbon. Okay. Bourbon to the rescue, but I have a feeling that the aftertaste of the Malort is going to make the bourbon taste
Probably
better
not
too.
the fairest for this thing, but...
Well, in fairness, we have reviewed this already. Oh, that's so much better.
It's so much better.
Instant relief.
But it's nice and dense. Like, it's got a good mouthfeel, and that helps, like, coat the tongue and your tonsils and stuff.
Yeah. This is giving off a nice pastry note right now, like a nice, like a glazed, like cinnamon. Not a cinnamon roll like you would get, like a Cinnabon type thing, but like the, the fried pastry.
The fried pastry.
Like a cinnamon, kind of like a fritter type thing or something, or.
Oh, those weird donut things. What are they called? Like.
Yeah, they're so good.
There's a name for them. I can't think what it is. Anyway. This is good. Like, you know what? I think...
this is Sugar Kitty. It's wonderful that it's coming after the Malort, because this is heaven compared to that.
So,
Although
in
still
summary,
the Malort is still there.
while I've totally enjoyed the international flight, I think we should do a YouTube channel about bourbon.
Yeah.
Because bourbon is better.
Yeah. Bourbon is the best. I think we've solved it today. I mean, we've had... whiskey we've never had Japanese whiskey incidentally. At least I haven't. I don't know.
I've never
if you have.
actually had a Japanese whiskey.
So now we've had Scotch, Irish, Swedish, Indian, Icelandic,
Canadian
Nothing compares to bourbon.
and Tennessee.
Yeah, it really.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I don't know where we'd put Texas in that. I don't think Texas is up there with the bourbon.
Texas is its own thing.
Yeah.
And we've had Texas whiskey as well.
Yeah.
Garbage. Maybe talk about the notes you get from bourbon.
Cronuts.
There's a name in there somewhere.
Cronuts. That's what they're called. They're for like fried donut things.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, like a croissant.
I'm just picturing it's not like a cinnamon roll that you get from Cinnabon, but it's like a flatter one, but it is still kind of rolled up. You get them in like the donut section at a grocery store.
Huh.
And they're glazed.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's the vibes I'm getting off of this.
Down north. That's an
Did y'all have any Found North? That's an excellent specimen of Canadian whiskey. Drifting Drams, we have a sample of that waiting.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah, because that came in with
was that from
Baker Drinks with the mystery flight they
Yep.
sent. So that was one of the 4 samples that they did. So yeah, I've heard that one's outstanding. Oh God,
This is really, really
smells
good.
so good.
This is it's way over there.
Yeah, it is kind of one of those things where I don't understand liking other whiskey more than bourbon.
Well,
But I just love it so much.
But I guess what I would like to see is let's say an Irishman, pick in Ireland. Have them try their whatever their basic entry level Irish whiskey is.
Yeah.
And then have them try like a
Did you
Jim Beam.
Did you know that there's an entire YouTube channel that's Irish
Yes.
people trying things?
Yes, I
And
know.
they actually have a Irish people trying bourbon.
Yeah, I know. But
Episode.
Those are people on YouTube. You can't believe what people on YouTube say.
Yeah, don't trust anyone you see on YouTube. Okay, well, bourbon to the rescue. I feel like I'm not dying anymore,
Yeah, I agree.
which is good.
Yeah. So, newsflash on the Bourbon News Channel or whatever we are. This looks very professional. Bourbon saves lives.
Yeah, absolutely. I could have died drinking that Malort.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I will tell you this. Nothing could have prepared me for how bad that was. I figured Malort was going to be one of those, kind of like a Jägermeister or like a, one of those things where it's like everybody's got a bad experience with it, or it's...
yeah, and I hate Jaeger.
Yeah, I don't like it either. So I was kind of figuring it'd be something like that. I didn't know it was going to be something that literally I drank that, and it's probably like the same reaction people have like that don't drink whiskey, don't like it, don't like the... don't have it neat, and then you give them like a Coy Hill
A castrate.
or a Stag Junior,
right.
and they take it, and it just their
And they
face
take a huge
explodes.
drink
And
because they don't know to like.
that's what that Malort was like, because there was nothing on the nose except for the lemon
So
pledge.
super light nose, and I got very light flavor initially. Like, oh, this is fine. And what I hate about it is the finish and the lingering garbage on the finish.
Yeah.
Like it's like the initial flavor is kind of meh.
Ugh. Oh, I didn't think so at all. The initial flavor is just, oh God, it's so bad.
I would drink Jägermeister as an everyday drinker before I went back to that Malort. And I dislike Jägermeister. Like
Ryan-
the only way to drink Jägermeister is super cold and you kill it.
I would rather drink Jägermeister as well. Ryan Frank says, what's the difference between whiskey and bourbon? All bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon. So bourbon is a
What are you
category
talking
of
about?
whiskey, kind of like IPA and stout and lager and pilsner are all categories of beer in general. Like bourbon and Scotch and Irish, Canadian, those are all rye. Single malt is, of course.
All Minnesotans are Americans, but not all Americans are Minnesotans.
Yep, exactly. So bourbon is just a category of whiskey that has some legal parameters that have to be followed in order to legally call it bourbon.
Or I could have said New Jerseyans or Texans.
You could have said anyone.
Yeah.
So my final opinion on the Malort thing is that honestly should be illegal.
It's heinous.
And I am not a prohibition guy at all in any stretch of the imagination.
You know,
but
next
that
week-
should be illegal.
Next week when you get worms, and you
I told you, I'll die. I'll die before I drink that. You'll have to
you're
inject
gonna
that into
need
my
it.
veins.
Yeah,
or,
that'll be medicinal for you.
yeah. Because it's such a, it's just so light and delicate on the nose, and then it's just like,
Surprise!
yeah, do we have the,
Oh, surprise!
yeah, that's exactly how it is. It's very like nice and delicate, and it's fine, and then,
Melt the shell off a garden snail.
so, all right, you ready to wrap this
I
up?
think so. I think we've said enough.
All right, well, this has been a whole bunch of stuff. So we will come up with a blend.
Well, yeah.
Here's what we need to do. We need to come up with some sort of competition between you and me.
Oh, and the loser has to drink this blend.
Well, we have to do this, not the blend. We're going to take the Malort,
Okay.
okay?
Oh, what do we? Oh,
And we have to do this before. This would work actually well this weekend because it's supposed to get really hot. But it's still August, so we still got some summer left. We're going to take the Malort. We're going to set it out in the summer sun for about 6 hours
what?
at high heat.
That may break down the enzymes and
So
make it taste like amazing.
Somebody has
You
to.
just invented the world's greatest whiskey out of nowhere.
It could be. Maybe it is. But the loser has to drink hot Malort neat through a coffee straw and finish the whole thing.
Oh, is this a competition between
Yeah.
you and I?
Or we could do hot Jägermeister, but I feel like the Malort would be even worse.
I'm going to lose because I lose everything. So I don't like this competition. I'm busy that day whenever we're filming.
Happy to be able to contribute to your worst blend ever. Yes, this was. But there were actually some great whiskeys in here, Steve. So thank you very, very much. This was a lot of fun.
Actually,
getting to try
Steve,
these.
I'm worried that somebody on this chat is going to take the challenge seriously and try to outdo you now.
It just says the worst stuff. What's up, Tater Dom? Cheers, OG Brick. The Bourbon Van. Or the Bourbon Van in here? I just saw that you posted a link to them. They don't watch our channel, do they? I don't know. I don't see them
I didn't
anywhere.
see
But
'em, but-
if they are in here, cheers.
Cheers, dudes.
Yeah, they've got a great channel. So yeah, in closing, the blend was terrible, but there is a couple of
Stellar
yeah.
international whiskeys that are pretty awesome.
Yep, for sure. The hot Malort will be coming out the other end. Yeah, I have a feeling that's probably going to be the end game of that. 9 out of 10 Malort drinkers, or 9 out of 10 drinkers of Malort are done for punishment purposes. Yes, that's perfect. Okay, so it sounds like Stacy
Wait a minute. What if we mixed Malort and Fireball
and Jägermeister.
and Jägermeister?
Okay, now I'm thinking of a whole new blend here. Those are all streams up next. Okay, so yeah, let's. We've got some other people going live, so let's end this one. But thank you again, very very much, Steve. This was a lot of fun, and it was
a lot
fun
of
getting
fun.
to try these whiskeys we otherwise probably wouldn't have gone and bought. But
Fair
now
enough.
there are definitely a couple of them that I certainly would pick up. So
Totally.
all right, well.
Till next time. See you next time.